Hello everybody and welcome back to another... Hello, strange one.
Hello?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Why are you in my house?
This is my house.
What do you mean this is your house? It's the iconic red... Where's the red wall?
This is my house. Mom!
Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another countdown. I'm the Phoenix King as always, but not as always, I bring with me a guest. It's not someone you know, but someone I know very, very well. He's my best friend in the entire world. This is Turner.
How's it going, guys? This is my main man, Chris, right here. And just a little backstory. Chris and I met each other in high school, our sophomore year. And we were best friends in choir for years and years to come. And he's a great friend of mine. And I'm glad to be on the show with you.
And we're on the show, we're going to be talking about video games.
Video games!
What a surprise.
Oh yeah.
But specific series of video games. Franchises.
Yes.
What we mean by franchises is video game series with consistent IPs.
A couple more things about the franchises. This is an opinionated list, so these are not the final top 10 franchises of all time.
Ugh.
You all know that. So it's
You can
all
look that up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, don't hate him in the comments. It's all good.
Also, I struggle to call 2 or 3 games a franchise. Things like No More Heroes and Okami, I didn't even consider them for this list. There is one franchise on here that has only 3 games, but we'll explain that when we get to it.
Exactly.
Do you want to get started?
Let's do it.
By the way, you have a very deep voice.
I do that sometimes.
Yes, now that that's been addressed, let's begin! Woo!
Alright. Number 10!
First off, we're talking Tomb Raider, Lara Croft's magnum opus.
Oh yes.
She's not really been in much else, but that's her magnum opus.
Women of women.
What I love about the Tomb Raider series is that it just has a great atmosphere to it. It always manages to make you feel legitimately frightened, even when there's nothing frightening going on.
Oh yeah. And the ambience and atmosphere in that game is something that is just unparalleled for the PS1. I mean, for me, as a kid in the late 90s, you're sitting there in these dungeons, in these caves, looking for, the first boss fight is a T-Rex.
T-Rex.
T-Rex, right?
If you've seen Nostalgia Critic, you know how awesome T-Rexes are.
Exactly, T-Rex equals awesome. They go together. T-Rex equals awesome. That'll show up.
But even past the first boss being a T-Rex, every single game has something to offer. There's a couple that have been... But each one of them always maintains the same spirit, and that's what I really like about them.
Me too. And we both are consensusly joined in our favorite Tomb Raider game, which is the latest one in the PS3. Great game. Phenomenal backstory that you get to go on Lara Croft's journey of becoming the Tomb Raider. It's really, really interesting.
I loved all the survival mechanics, like the ammo, and being able to see objects easier whenever you're in a panic.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved how even they were able to expand on that feeling of solitude and desperation.
Oh, you can't get much better than Lara Croft with a giant stick through her body, just being impaled and just get her off of it.
And actually being hurt instead of pulling a Devil May Cry.
Yep, there you go. Number 9!
Next up, we're talking Tales. This is one that Turner over here isn't too familiar with, but you've all probably heard of Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Hearts. Basically, it's an action RPG series, not too dissimilar to Kingdom Hearts, but what I really love about it is that there is so much character to it, and not just in the characters. Like, they have great art styles and they have great characters, obviously.
Yes.
That's the 3rd time I've said character in 10 seconds.
Hey, by the way, characters.
Yes. Character. Character!
No!
There are so many different playstyles that you can work with, and you get to work with each and every one of them in every game, and they just have a great vibe to them. It's kind of hard to explain.
Yes, and I wish I could help him out, but like Chris said, I haven't really played any of these games, and I'm sure they're fantastic games, but I hope to play them in the future.
My favorite game in the series was Tales of Vesperia. It just had, like, the best story and characters, in my opinion. Close runners-up would be Tales of Hearts and Tales of Symphonia, the one everybody loves.
There you go.
And I love it too. Number 8! Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the iconic platforming mascots, and even just general mascots of all time. They're what Sega is most commonly associated with, and he has some great games up his sleeve.
Oh, I mean, some of my favorite games of all time. I mean, one of the first games I ever played was Sonic DX on the Dreamcast, actually, as a kid. I went over to my friend's house, never playing any video game before, and was completely blown away by that game. And from then on, I played almost every Sonic game imaginable, and even the PS3 games. I mean, I know there's a lot of scrutiny on them, and I know that some people don't like the whole Silver game and the whole Unleashed game, but I loved them. I thought they were great story games, and to be a fan of Sonic, I was just happy to see him in great 3D light.
Yeah, like he sort of mentioned, his games aren't always the best, but they have a unique charm to them that just can't be matched. A combination of the art style and the characters and the level design and, of course, the speed.
Yes.
Go do speed.
Speed!
Speed.
Yes, we all like speed. We all like speed in Sonic. I mean,
I got into the series first with Sonic Unleashed. Again, kind of a late one to get into it with, and maybe not the best in some people's opinions, but I love it. I loved that there was just so much color and vibrancy to all the stages, and even the Werehog stages, I didn't mind them that much.
Yeah, I kind of liked Sonic the Werehog. I mean, I thought it was a new take on the whole Sonic atmosphere, and there was still that speed factor in the day, so I thought it was very interesting. But my favorite Sonic game has to be, hands down, Sonic Adventures 2 Battle. It was such a good game on the GameCube, one of my first games that I had on the GameCube, and
way to be original, hipster.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Number 7!
This is another series I didn't get into until very recently, Bioshock. And it's actually thanks to this guy that I got into it. I mean, obviously I'd heard of Bioshock, but I didn't really have any interest until he told me it was so incredible. And I played it, and they were so incredible.
And Bioshock Infinite has to be one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, the story and the characters in that game were something that was unbelievable to me, and something that had no other game like it. I mean, going back in that game, in the ending, I mean, literally, after I finished that game, and I'm not going to give it away, 20 minutes after I had finished it, I went back on YouTube and just looked it all up. Literally, for 20 minutes, and just rewatched it, because I was so blown away by that game. And then, I mean, not only that game, but Bioshock 2 and Bioshock 1, both Rapture games that were unbelievable. I mean, the fact that they can take someone like a Big Daddy in Bioshock 2, as the character you play as, and turn him into somebody you feel compassion for, whereas in the first game, and even in the second game still, he is someone who is a menace throughout the entire game. You don't look forward to seeing Big Daddy. But in Bioshock 2, you feel this compassion towards this Big Daddy that is alone in this world. And I love how they can take you on this journey.
Yeah, my favorite game in the series was the original Bioshock, mostly just because of its world. I just loved all the ideas and presentation that they were able to thrust into this underwater city, and all the shenanigans that the characters were able to go through because of their location. Like with the Hephaestus level, or with the underwater garden. It was just really interesting where their imaginations could go with such a ludicrous idea. I also really loved the different atmosphere that the first game had compared to the other two. It was just a lot darker, grimmer, more centered around death and despair. I mean, those were in the other games, but the first game did it consistently and effectively, and that really earned my respect. Number 6! The next franchise on our list is Ace Attorney. This is another one that Turner here isn't too familiar with, so I'm gonna have to take over most of this segment. The thing about the Ace Attorney games is they are ridiculous. Just the concept alone of a game being made about a court of law is just something that I struggle to understand how it even came into existence. But you know what? It's incredible! But the way that this game is presented, and how it's written, and how its characters are fleshed out, is just really, really a milestone in video game storytelling. These games have some incredible, both comedic, dramatic, and just witty writing that, in combination with all the great characters they create, like Phoenix Wright, Miles Edgeworth, Maya Fey, the Von Karmas, and even the side characters have such unique and interesting personalities and interesting ways of integrating into the story and into the mysteries that you have to solve as the character. It's just something that has to be experienced in order to be understood.
The thing about the Ace Attorney games is, if you look at them at face value, they're not very good. I mean, you press A on random objects and occasionally you win. But just how they present it, and all the scenarios that they're able to come up with, and all the mystery at hand, it's just really remarkable.
I can't wait to play them, like I said.
Number 5! Final Fantasy, the godfather of all RPGs. Everybody knows them, not everybody loves them, but we both love them.
Pretty good games. And I mean, I have 3 words to say about these games. Gun, blade. Oh, wow. Wow.
Alright, so that's your opinion.
Yes. I mean, you cannot deny the fact of how crazy these games are. I mean, that's what I love about Final Fantasy. They can do whatever they want in gaming. And it's so cool, because a lot of RPGs and a lot of franchises are kind of confined by what they have. And, I mean, to an extent, Final Fantasy is. But, I mean, if you want a winged boss with some crazy different powers, go right ahead.
Tons of religious symbolism?
Yes, you could do that. Or you could have gun blades.
Wow. Yeah, my favorite game in the series is Final Fantasy IV. You know, every game in the series, except for 4, has one character, at least one, that I just can't stand. But 4 just has a great mix of good characters and good villains, and a great world to explore that the others quite haven't matched, and it's a shame that it's not talked about as often as some of the others.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll admit, I know most of my Final Fantasy knowledge from the Kingdom Hearts series, and I really am not a big Final Fantasy player, but from what I know, they're amazing games, and they are places that you can become a completely different character. I mean, they're very in-depth, and they're very, very customizable. I mean, you have to make your own team, and you have to create your story, which is pretty cool to me.
They are a bit of grinder games. A lot of RPGs are, but Final Fantasy is especially. There is a lot of mindless farming enemies. But, you know, it's endearing in a way that's kind of hard to explain, because there's a sense that you're getting stronger, not just, ooh, that one number went up and now you're stronger.
Yeah!
That's epic, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Number 4! It's me, Mario!
Oh yes, you knew this was coming. Come, it's Mario for Pete's sake.
Who doesn't love Mario?
You don't love Mario?
Mario haters.
Mario haters? You must be Italian.
Get off this video, Mario haters.
If you're Italian, you probably like Mario, though. There's some sort of German.
And spaghetti. And that's racist. Thing about Mario is that he is always unbelievably precise.
Yes.
There's so much effort and so much creativity that goes into his games, and sometimes they don't always hit bullseyes, but they usually do.
Oh yeah.
And it's really remarkable how just great these games are.
There isn't one game that I can think of that takes me back more than Mario 64. I mean, that game to me, being across the street and just playing on my first time playing the N64, as I get all the stars and achieve all these feats in that game to finally cannon my way up all the way to the top of the castle and find Yoshi chilling there. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Nobody knows I'm here. And that's so cool to me. That game was just so unbelievable and a revolutionary platform for video games in general. And not to mention, I mean, there's more than just that. There's Mario Galaxy. There's one of my favorite games, not one of other people's favorite games, Mario Sunshine. I loved that game because it wasn't like all the other Mario games to me. It was very, very interesting. The world of Sunshine and the worlds that Mario brings to the table.
Yeah. Mario games are nothing grand. They're nothing inspirational. But they're just super, super fun. And they've always been super, super fun.
And they always will be. Uber, super, fantastical, amazing fun.
Ultra Edition.
Number 3.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah.
You cannot announce this series without using that voice.
Yep.
It's impossible. Think about the Metal Gear series. I'm not too big a fan of stealth gameplay. I mean, you know, wait here for this person to start walking the other way, then move to this point and start with the other guy, blah, blah, blah. But Metal Gear does it in a unique, well, not a necessarily unique way, but in a way that endears itself and creates a feeling of real tension, not just, ooh, gotta wait for that guy.
To me, the Metal Gear games are what stealth is all about. And aside from Chris, I am a very stealth character. I love the kind of satisfaction you get from defeating an entire enemy base solely from no one detecting you. I mean, that's something that you just kind of take and you're like, yeah, I'm a badass. Yep, that's right.
And the Metal Gear games are always grand. They're always epic. They always have great characters and even some hilarious characters.
Amazing bosses. Amazing bosses.
Yes. I believe one of your favorites as well as mine is the Big Boss.
Yes, I love Big Boss. I love Big Boss. I love that fight. That boss battle is just more than what meets the eye. I mean, the gameplay, to me, Chris is not so
It was just a bit slower than I would have liked.
And that's fine. That's cool if you think it's that way. But for me, the slowness is what made it amazing. Because in that moment, you know that this is it. This is the moment where Snake finally encounters and beats Big Boss. And whenever I played that boss battle, I kind of felt like a Shadow of Colossus kind of feel. Like a weird, eerie feeling of defeating Big Boss, but it wasn't a good feel. It was something that we all knew was...
It had to happen,
exactly.
But you didn't want it to.
And the fight for me was just so amazing in that sense. Make it a melodic, slow fight. And it was that. That's what embodies Metal Gear. It's not guns blazing, you're gonna go out. And I mean, you can play it that way. You can.
In Rising Revengeance, you can do that.
Yes,
You're a samurai.
Mm-hmm. But in the Metal Gear series, you are a stealth player. You are one man, and stalking your prey is what you do. That game is stalking.
For that reason and many others, 3 is my favorite in the series, with a close follow-up by Rising Revengeance and 4.
I can't wait for the remaster of the first one, though. I cannot wait for that.
I can't wait for 5.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a good time. Number 2!
It's Pokemon! Now, you all probably saw this coming, especially since I announced this as my favorite franchise at one point, but it's not anymore, due to maybe getting more into the number 1 series. But right now, let's talk about Pokemon. It's iconic, everybody knows it. Again, not everybody loves it, but the majority of people love it.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it's hard not to love Pokemon. I mean, growing up as a kid, watching the cartoons, playing the games, it's an endearing series to all of us as our childhood. I mean, it's an amazing franchise.
It's a perfect gateway RPG in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
The interface is so simple. Press a button, unleash a huge attack, and kill somebody's Hydreigon. But then there's so much you can do with it that it never gets old. With all the abilities, and the items, and the types, and the different attack layouts. Mega Evolutions.
I really like that.
They just announced a few new Mega Evolutions today.
Oh, really?
They announced Altaria, and Lopunny, and Salamence.
Ooh, Salamence would be cool.
He looks like a fighter jet.
What? No way! I gotta see that.
I'm excited for Mega Lopunny, mostly because I always liked Lopunny as a supporter, but nobody likes supporters. So now it'll get a big attack boost, hopefully, and it can hit ghosts now because of its ability.
What?
We got off topic.
Yes, we did.
See, we're just excited about things that have happened today in Pokemon. for a series that's been going on for 20 years now.
And
not 20, 15.
Yes, that is the thing about Pokemon. I mean, they are making carbon copies of the same game, and they're still fantastic. No one cares because of how amazing these games are. They made a world that people love.
Every new game brings new possibilities, new options for customization, and just new ways to play.
And it's awesome.
Yep.
Don't forget about that.
Number 1! So Turner, what do you think my favorite video game franchise of all time is?
If I were to have to guess, I would say Conker's Bad Fur Day? Something like that?
No, it's actually Spyro the Dragon. Think about Spyro the Dragon. There are other series more iconic than his, there are other series better than his, but the worlds that they create within the Spyro universe are incredible.
I completely agree. The first game that I ever had on the PS1 was the third...
Year of the Dragon.
Yes, it was Year of the Dragon. It was Year of the Dragon, and it was the most amazing game. It's what started me in gaming, and I love the fact that this series has continued. And I mean, if you look at Spyro's past, I mean, from the first GameCube games that they started to make, I mean, A Hero's Tale, that game was so cool.
Nobody bought it because of Enter the Dragonfly, but I agree.
I loved that game, and I loved the fact that that universe could be so in-depth in the story. I mean, the Purple Dragon storyline and like the Dawn of the Dragon whole...
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Yes, it's just an amazing universe that you were able to explore and kind of really understand who Spyro is through every game.
The Spyro games are just filled with so much color and so much energy that you just can't help but live inside of them as you play them. And it really is an experience I haven't found in many other games, let alone franchises. And now we must address the elephant in the room, the Legend of Spyro trilogy.
Oh.
Not a lot of people like this one, mostly due to Spyro being basically copy-pasted into a Lord of the Rings plot.
Sort of. But I honestly loved that series. I mean, I loved the fact that I finally got to understand Spyro more. And that's what I was trying to say.
It was a completely different take on the Spyro, but it still worked. It made itself huge. It gave itself a different identity. Even though it is basically a Lord of the Rings plot, it was epic as hell.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get more epic than fighting that final boss fight in Dawn of the Dragon. I mean,
falling to the center of the earth on a crumbling platform
against another purple dragon,
who is huge and far more powerful than you.
Yes, yes. But still, Spyro defeats it against all odds.
Cliched, yes, but absolutely enthralling.
Freaking awesome, alright? We like it. There's so much just pure awe in that series to me. And I mean, to Chris too. I mean, there's just so much.
What they're able to do with these games. From the early PS1's not very powerful, especially by today's standards, but they were able to create amazing worlds by sort of tweaking around the limitations, and those games are still played today. Or at least by me.
And by me.
Maybe I'm just a nerd.
Well, we both are. It happens.
So yeah, Spyro, my favorite video game franchise of all time. It may not have been what you were expecting to hear, but it's the truth. And I'm not changing it anytime soon. Draw me like one of your French girls.